Gunderson gets slid around and the yellow coming out as he got to the bottom and couldn't hold it. So we head to the backstretch. Wallish taking him around. We're back green. It's Esch. Scott and Blurton. Ergenbright is fourth. Cogshell is fifth. Your race for that sixth spot. And Wagler moves into sixth. Your race for the lead. Blurton on the inside of Scott works on Wallish. Your race also for fourth. Cogshell and Ergenbright. Ergenbright on the cushion, Cogshell on the bottom. Now Tommy Scott works for the lead. Cogshell moves into fourth. Tommy Scott working on Wallish on the bottom. Wallish comes off of turn two, still has the lead. White 4S works the bottom in turns 3 and 4. Esch still up top in the 52, side by side by the flag stand, the 52 and the 4S. Now Cogshell works on Blurton to the number 3 spot. Wallish up top, still runs in the number 1 spot. Wallish, Tommy Scott, we're running for the lead. It's Wallish on the white flag, Tommy Scott, Daniel Cogshell running third, then Blurton, Ergenbright, and Gunderson. Scott still on the inside, down the back chute. Your race to win the sixth heat. Tommy Scott down low, Wallish on the cushion. It's Esch and Scott down the front chute, side by side, and Tommy Scott. Green flag, Van Hoekelum, freeze. Matt Richard up on the top of the 24 car. It rotated through the middle in the 23. Van Hoekelum out around Donald Lee, freeze into the lead. Here comes the 24 car of Matt Richard. Here comes your leader off turn number 4. Kenny Williams in the 16 car, currently in that 5th position. It's Van Hoekelum and Donald Lee Freeze. Rodert in the 23, Richard in the car number 24. Tony McCarthy, the 17M. Deaver up on the high side in the 34. Freeze putting the move on the 80 of Van Hoekelum out of turn number 4. From Keatsville, Missouri, Donald Lee Freeze. Freeze on the high side, Van Hoekelum on the low side. Circling the big half mile. Van Hoekelum with a little advantage coming off the corner. Van Hoekelum back into the lead. Rodert in 3rd. Matt Richard in 4th. Still a battle for that top spot. Donald Lee Freeze
looks to have just a little advantage coming off turn number 4. Top 2 to transfer to the B main event. Ed Roeder trying to advance. Roeder closing the gap on Van Hoekelum off turn number 4. Roeder got a good bite off turn number 2. He's in the second position. Van Hoekelum running the low groove into lap traffic. Here comes your leader, the 22F of Donald Lee Freeze. Ed Roeder, Van Hoekelum trying to work back on the low side. Matt Richard still holding down the 4th spot. Van Hoekelum trying to work his way back into the B main event. Freeze, Roeder right up on the bumper. Van Hoekelum on the low side. 3 wide, exiting turn number 2 into lap traffic. Remember, the top 2 to transfer. Van Hoekelum gets caught up in lap traffic. Roeder jumps the cushion. Van Hoekelum back on the inside. White flag. White flag, Donald Lee Freeze. White flag, Dwayne Van Hoekelum. Ed Roeder in the 23. Matt Richard in the 24. Freeze holding on. Van Hoekelum on the inside. Pace car in, your B main. 20 cars, 12 laps, 6 to transfer. Yellow lights off. Norm Wadley watching them as they head into that 3rd and 4th turn. When they get to that white line, we're going 12 laps. We're green. And it's a race up front. Dusenberry. Your leader's Bobby Thompson in the 48. Dusenberry moves into 2nd. And we got somebody. And then we got another one getting over us. We got 2 of them cartwheeling down the back chute and into that 3rd turn. B main, 12 laps, we're back green. Up front, Bobby Thompson and Matt Spees. Matt Spees at 69 out in front. Thompson is in the number 2 spot. Billy Dusenberry working the inside. He's challenging for 3rd. Dusenberry in that 20X takes over 3rd. Gunderson, that 39W, is 4th. Now here comes Tom Lenz in the 8L. He gets by Dusenberry and Gunderson. He moves into the number 3 spot. It's Matt Spees, the 69, out in front. Bobby Thompson, the 2nd. Billy Dusenberry moves back into the 3rd spot. Ergenbright off the throttle into the infield area in turn 1. Your leader, Matt Spees, in that red 69, 48, Bobby Thompson, the white car, running second. The orange 20X, Billy Dusenberry running third. Running fourth in a white 8L is Tom Lenz. Your front two with about a straightaway lead now over third place Dusenberry. Thompson slowly closing in on Spees for the lead in tonight's B main. We're taking the top 6 to tag the tail of the A. And we're having a battle for that 6th spot right now with Gunderson and Richardson battling for 6th. Gunderson is running 6th. Richardson on the inside. You race for that final transfer. Whitworth also getting into the hunt. Your leaders, Matt Spees in turn 3, that red 69. Running second, the white 48, Bobby Thompson. Third is Billy Dusenberry. Fourth is Tom Lenz. Fifth is Goran Doty. Now sixth, you're raced by the flag stand. 38W of Gunderson, the 0M of Richardson, and the 96 of Whitworth. Those 3 cars battling for that final transfer going into the 3rd turn. Richardson on the inside of Gunderson. Here comes Whitworth now, that yellow 96. Out of turn 4, it's still Gunderson, Richardson, and Whitworth. And it's still Matt Spees, the 69 Budweiser car out in front. He goes to the bottom in lap traffic. Bobby Thompson running second in the 48. Then it's a 20X, 8L, 14D, 38W, followed closely by the 0M in the 96. Whitworth working on Richardson now. He moves into that 7th spot. Gunderson is still 6th and final transfer. In that 4th turn, Whitworth closes in. Here comes Richardson. The race is still for that 6th and final transfer. And they are slowly closing in on Goran Doty, running 5th in that 14D car. Your leader by the flag stand is Matt Spees in the 48. 3rd place is the 20X out of turn 4, Billy Dusenberry, followed by Tom Lenz, Goran Doty. Now Richardson on the inside of Gunderson. You race for that final transfer. Still up for grabs, Gunderson, Richardson, and Whitworth. A white flag this time for the 69, the 48. Richardson now moves in to the number 6 spot. Here comes Whitworth on the white flag. You race, and Whitworth, Richardson battling for that final transfer. Checker flag out. Matt Spees. Here comes Bobby Thompson. Matt Spees winning the B main. Thompson is second.
Up, let's hoot and holler, let's put our hands together a little bit. Some excellent heat races in a C and B. Let's send them off on an excellent and safe 15-lap A main event. Let's bring them on down, everybody.